What is going on, everybody? Welcome to yet another gameplay stream. I hope you guys are doing exceptionally well. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. If you're lucky enough to get to pre-release for Kaldheim, please feel free to share your experience. If you're in chat, feel free to share it in chat. If you're on YouTube, please feel free to share it in the comments section below. We'd really love to hear what your deck choices were, that kind of thing, see how things went. But we're jumping in with some more standard Kaldheim today. Before I do that, just want to mention there is 1 week left for our Kaldheim giveaway. If you would like to enter, you just got to jump over to our Twitch if you're not already there and make sure you're following us. And that is it. Do really want to thank everybody for following us who has already done so. We really do appreciate the support. It's great to have such awesome people following, and we certainly hope you enjoy the content. But without further ado, let's jump right in. Like I said, I'm really stoked about this deck, and I'm really enjoying Kaldheim. I think we're getting a lot of interesting new synergies, a lot of interesting new decks. Tibalt's Trickery I know is in there, but we're not playing that today. I don't know that I will play that deck. I'm curious to see how that works out. But anyway, we are playing Jund Midrange today. And I think this is a very well-positioned one in the background. Hey, Garrett, what's up, buddy? Thank you so much. Hope you're having a great day. Yes, so this is Jund. We've really only got a splash for the green. This is very heavily focused on the red and the black aspect of this, and it's very much centered around this sacrifice outlets. So you'll see we've got things like Village Rites with beautiful new artwork thanks to Kaldheim. We've got Woe Strider. We do have, this brand new exciting vampire dragon, Immersturm Predator, which I'm really excited to try out. And then, of course, Korvold here at the top as our big kind of finisher for the deck. Such a powerful card, Korvold. Really excited to try this out in this build. And again, I think we really have the tools to capitalize on it more so than some other decks. So to help us do that, we do have things like Claim the Firstborn as a full 4 of. We're seeing a lot of mono red. We're seeing a lot of early aggro decks, as we tend to see in early standard environments. And so it's really helpful to have something that allows us to steal stuff and then hopefully sacrifice it later, if not just win the game with it. We do have things like Woe Strider, which is going to help us sacrifice that. We've got Valki as well as Kroxa to hopefully get rid of some of those pesky cards in hand. And Kroxa, of course, providing a finisher for us. And then to help us steal even more stuff, we have the Akroan War, which I think is one of the best cards in this deck for many reasons. One, it does steal a creature on the battlefield with no limitations. And what that means is you can literally steal any creature the opponent plays. Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't kill it, which is crucial in a mirror match because things like the Predator have indestructible or conditional indestructible, and that's okay. We can get around that, which is really powerful. Any kind of activated Heliod, anything like that, we actually get to steal. It also can help sweep the board on the opponent's end if they are a heavy, kind of creature-focused deck. Those mono-red decks tend to really suffer with this card. But then also, it allows us to hopefully make some favorable blocks with that second counter. So there are some options there for us. Masked Vandal, and I know I'm jumping around a little bit here, but Masked Vandal is in here for the Heliods, for the Thassos, which we're seeing a little bit now. Any kind of just artifact or enchantment that we don't have a way to deal with, this is kind of our catch-all. Only here is a 2 of. Again, we're not really focused heavily on the green, but this does give us some options, which is really nice to have, especially in a Jund deck where you tend to just try and outvalue the opponent overall. We do have Egon, God of Death. Most often we play it as Throne of Death, but there are instances against Mill, things like that, where just playing a 6/6 Death Toucher is like a little too good for some decks to actually finish or beat. So there is a lot of things that we can do with this. It's very flexible. Oh, you just finished your work, so I'm here for the stream. Garrett, awesome. I appreciate it, buddy. Bonecrusher's in here, of course. And then for the land count, we're actually looking at 26. We're a little high on the land count, but given we're trying to get to that Korvold and kind of put some cards in the graveyard, I think it's worthwhile. So let's jump right in. Let's see how this deck goes. I have playtested just a little bit with it. Really enjoying this deck. It's absolutely fantastic. It's got a lot of the things that you need to play out regardless of the matchup. So really excited to see how this goes. But Garrett, I'm glad you got your work done, buddy. How are you doing today? Are you having a fantastic Monday? I hope. Okay, what do we have here? This is an interesting hand. The double Korvold is not great, but we do have some things here in the beginning that I actually really kind of like. We're gonna try this. I don't have high hopes. I think I'm gonna fetch for a red, just right off the bat here. That gives us some options. The other option, I guess, would just be to throw this out. Yeah, let's just do that. This works so good. The Throat of Death is very, very good as an engine if you can get it online as early as possible, especially for a deck like this where, you know, we do have Kroxas, we do have Woe Striders, things that can capitalize on the stuff in the graveyard. Not to mention, if we just get another Egon, we can actually play it out and do some massive damage. So here we're really looking to get a red source, and unfortunately we did not. That's kind of what I was worried about, to be honest, because in this situation we're not able to shock this down, and so that could have very easily just been a misplay on my end. Even that Claim the Firstborn could have been a really helpful draw if we had gotten that red source. Could have stolen that. Village Rites did away, just done some major damage, but we'll see what happens. This obviously is a white, probably life gain style deck. And so or counter focus, life game focus. So we'll do the best we can. Yes, definitely. Okay. So Claim is going to be great if we can get it. Okay. We're going to want to try and deal with this Valkyrie as quickly as we can. Having played with the Valkyrie, I know how good that card is. It's tremendous. And so we do need to find a way to deal with it. There's a red source there for us. All right, so I forgot Korvold was in Standard. Never seen him played. Yeah, Korvold is very, very good, Pete. 100%. Also, thank you so much for your order. I did go ahead and put that with your Patreon rewards, which were sent out yesterday. You should have gotten an email about that. This is a weird place to be. I'm actually going to go second black here. I do want to get all three colors, but the green is definitely not as impactful at this stage in the game. Obviously, drawing 2 lands and getting a Korvold down, awesome. But that's really not what we're trying to do. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, dude. Sacrifice in Standard in this economy. Cactus, I like it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take this one out now that they've tapped some of their lands here. Unfortunately, the one thing that I will say this deck does miss, because it does play heavily into that creature aspect, is it doesn't necessarily have the sweepers that you want against some of these very, creature-centric decks, things like that. Obviously, that's okay. That's not the game plan for this deck. But it does sometimes hurt a little bit in that instance. So we're going to do the best we can. All right, here we go. Okay. There's a second red, which is not actually bad. Gonna go ahead and play it for red. All right, let's do this. Get to steal a card here. Wow. And what a card it is. Okay. Well, I think we're just gonna die. Yeah. I think we're just gonna die. All right. Korvold was nuts in Jun's Sacrifice deck, pre-rotation and pre-cat combo ban, because it ran Bolas Citadel and cat combo. Garrett, yeah, it was very, very good. Korvold, I still think is just one of the coolest value creatures, and it just has so much synergy with that Sacrifice outlet that, again, I do think it's at a premium in this deck. I just think that we're not getting super lucky against this opponent, and that's okay. Things happen. Yeah. So the trick here is we're gonna block with Valki and then sack it with the Village Rites. So let's do this. We could... I'm not gonna get cute with it. Let's go ahead and just see what we draw. Hey, Omega. What is up, my friend? How are you doing? How is your Monday starting off? I hope exceptionally well. Let's see what we can do. So there's the Predator, which is very good. But unfortunately, I think too little too late here. Yeah, I think we're just dead, right? So we can play this. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and call it. Garrett, if you're in here, and you're sticking around for a while, do you mind being our record keeper for this this one? Certainly appreciate it. And thank you guys as always for being here. I really do appreciate it. I was thinking about streaming this weekend, and unfortunately just didn't get a chance. I had some other stuff that I had to do around the house. We're, like I said, renovating in certain areas, and so I was trying to... Thanks, Garrett, and thank you for the anti-hype. Trying to get some stuff done, and so was unfortunately a bit busy. But we are going to hit it hot and heavy this week. We're going to try and stream every single day. And assuming I can get my hands on my Kaldheim boxes, which I should be able to in plenty of time, we will start doing Kaldheim, or start opening Kaldheim for our... Hey, new subscriber Pete, coming in clutch, buddy. Thank you so much. Oh, Pete, you're the best. Oh, dude, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. We will open up Kaldheim for our card hunt on Friday. I'm going to open up the voting for that in Discord at some point very soon. Let's get some hype in the chat for Pete. Coming in clutch, my dude. As always. Really do appreciate you being here. Let's go this route. So we've got the green color here if we need it. We can fetch whatever color else we need. Thank you, Garrett, for that hype. And thank you, Pete, as always. Unfortunately, we don't have any packs to open for you, so I apologize, Pete. We haven't gotten any in. Ooh, that's very good. That's very good, actually. I'm gonna go green here. We're just gonna Woe Strider. This just gives us a little bit of like a sacrifice outlet, so if they do attack with a creature without trample, we can just go ahead, throw this in front, sack it, scry, and hopefully do something really, really good here. Thank you, Pete. You're the man. So supportive, I love it. The other option here is to just trade off with the Woe Strider. I'm not actually opposed to doing that. I think a better play is just to claim it later on. So let's wait. We'll take 3. We can claim it, attack in, and actually do some real damage thanks to this Fabled Passage. So we're going to claim it first, play the Fabled Passage, crack the Fabled Passage, and then we should be in really good shape, actually. So let's go ahead and get this out of here. They may try and shock it, which is definitely not a bad idea, but it looks like they're not. They may shock it now. Head to the Boros Treasures deck. It now runs... Oh, dude, so I definitely played that Boros Treasures deck, and it's very, very good. And it will be played on the channel, so I'll check out the updates, though. All right. Let's get in there for as much damage as we can. And then we're just going to sack this to Village Rites and see what we get. I feel like that's pretty good. With that Fabled Passage in hand, that really punished the opponent for playing that Brushfire Elemental. All right. Ooh, and another Claim. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we'll just pass. I don't like cracking the sacrifice here too early. But here, this just fizzles. I mean, not really the best idea on their end. We can actually play Korvold, so I'm going to keep that. Korvold is just so good. I mean, it just wrecks the opponents if it sticks, which is obviously the key here. But, I mean, I'm really not too worried about it. I'm assuming they were trying to get us to force sacrifice there, because I don't see why they wouldn't. But this Hellhound I don't think is going to get it done here. We just get to shock it down or find a different way to kill it. So we could claim... Realize I don't have to worry about flyers as much when Goldspan Dragon has Embercleave on it turn 6. Corkspine, you were correct. Alright, so we can steal this, give it haste, and actually do some damage. Which I don't hate. Could actually just steal this, which is better. Yeah, we're just going to use the opponent's creatures against them as best we can here. They do get this back, which is kind of scary, but worse things have happened. We could have actually killed that too. Yeah, that could have been a bit of a mistake. We probably should have just killed that. Alright, and now we're just going to play out this. Crack it, sacrifice this. Yeah, Lamp, we can sack it to the Predator here. And there we go. This deck really does just wreck these kinds of like easy creature decks. And so I feel very confident in our matchup here. And just being able to give this indestructible is like super, super handy. All right. So again, we just sacrifice this, put a counter on this, and then, or excuse me, just make it indestructible, and then that fizzles. All right. Let's throw this out. Do we just play Korvold, sacrificing a land? I think we do. Let's just sack this here. Oh, and again, the Akroan War, one of those cards that just wrecks these kinds of decks. I mean, we just get to steal stuff and then do tons and tons of damage with it, which is awesome. All right. Let's do it. Let's see what we can do. I'm liking the look of this, though. I mean, obviously, we've got 2 flyers with them only having 4 life here, so I feel pretty good, and 1 card in hand. So I think we're okay, but you never know. All right. Good game. Opponent sees the writing on the wall, and we'll just go ahead and make this easy and attack in here. Thank you, Garrett. And we'll just sack this. That's fine. All right. First one and done. So I like that. 1-1. Thank you so much for updating us, Garrett, and thank you so much for the hype. Let's get some more hype in chat. We did it, guys. We got our first win with this Jund mid-range deck. Very heavily focused on sacrifices we've talked about, but such a fun and just flexible deck. I feel like it's got a lot of flexibility and a lot of power against a lot of, you know, these early game threats that we tend to see. Yeah, I really like this. I like the way it plays. I like all that stuff. So we're gonna keep going here. We're probably gonna spend, you know, 45 minutes to an hour with this one, but really appreciate you guys being here. Quirk's fine as always. Great to see you. Let's jump in. Let's see what we can do. All right. Let's see if we can get another win. Hopefully going for 2-1 this time. Ooh, this is a bit of a rough hand though. The one downside about all these is they don't produce red. So I'm gonna have to mulligan, unfortunately. This is much better. You know, because of these two, that's banking on a lot. Let's do this. I don't love it. I think either way, it's kind of a rough one. You could keep the Village Rites with Claim Package, and I think that's fine. But I think the trick is really to be able to potentially just leave. This is just a good card to have no matter what, but this is a good card to have against a lot of different things. And so I'd rather have that. It's a bit more flexible. It deals that 2 damage to any target. Whereas if this isn't a creature deck, the Claim is basically just a dead card. And so that's just something to think about here. We're gonna go ahead and throw this out for red, which just allows us to shock if we need to. Kind of hoping we'll need to, actually. Just given that we've got 2 in hand with no real turn 3 play. That's interesting. Okay. Deathbloom Salad, not a card I expected to see, to be honest, but here we are. Okay, so here we can claim this if we would like, and then Village Rites it. Do we like that play? Does that seem okay? Let's go ahead and play that out. I do kind of like that play. Essentially, we're only dealing 1 damage here. It's not a lot. That's fine, though, because, again, we just get the Village Rites. And technically, I did make a mistake. I shouldn't have played that land quite yet, but it really won't matter. We have very few 1-drops in the deck, so not too worried about that. All right. Let's see how it goes. Okay, interesting. That's pretty good. All right, so cancel. Nah, let's just do that. That's fine. Hey, Splayer, what is up, my friend? How are you doing today? Hope you're doing super well. It's great to see you. Hope you're having a great Monday. How is everybody's Monday going? Are you kicking off the week strong? Are you having a good time? Or are you just trying to get through the day? I totally understand either way. Sure. You got me there. Unfortunately, that's one of those areas where because we had no other creature, we couldn't do anything about that. And that's really where the Predator is at its worst. So that is something that we do need to consider in the future. But it is what it is. Sitting around waiting for my next class to start. I like it. All right. Let's throw this out there. I'm going to go ahead and Korvold. We're actually going to sack the green here. Reason being, we really don't need the green. We do have the little 1/3 that could actually deal with the Nightmare Shepherd, and it exiles it, which is pretty crucial. But importantly here, if they just have more Heartless Axe, they can't actually kill Korvold. If they have Murder, I guess they can. Fair enough. This deck is interesting. It's not one I expected to see, given just the way that this tends to flow. But hey, that's fine. All right. So here we just get to steal their thing now. So I'm just going to steal their thing. Let's make sure they don't get that. And then now, if they do kill it, that's fine, because it's their own creature, and theirs do not come back. So this opens up the door for, you know, Bonecrushering something away here. They clearly have a lot of death touch, and that's annoying, but not... It's really not the end of the world for us. When we've got things like Kroxa that just recur, we can actually do quite a bit with that. They also will attack next turn regardless. And so there's a world where we're able to just sweep their board here. Sure. Take 3. Okay. So, how do we want to do this? We do have some options here, things to think about. I think the first thing we should do... You want a Woe Strider? Omega, that's not a bad play. The reason I'm a little skeptical to Woe Strider is I'm not actually worried about damaging this, or taking damage from this. Please send you a box. Leon... a box of what? Kroxa does get rid of a card in hand, though, and I kind of like that better. I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just got on mobile. Nice. Dude, minus. I like it. How are you enjoying the mobile? With Akroan? No, we don't. Akroan only deals... If the creature is tapped, we have to sacrifice it. And we don't, it untaps before that trigger happens. Plays great. That's awesome. I was a little skeptical. I'll be honest. I don't know. The playing on mobile just seems so small and so, you know, difficult. But hey, if it works, it works. No, this doesn't actually deal damage to our creatures because they do untap first. So we're fine. Not a worry. Okay. I'm taking that action. This gets rid of the last card in hand for them. Yes, they do get the... Garrett, they do... Oh, do they? Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. You are correct. So this deals damage to their stuff, though, before that. So that's kind of the key. All right, let's get that in. I see now what we were talking about. All right. Do we have a way to deal with this? I don't think so. Yeah, you guys were right. Definitely messed up a little bit. Although I don't know that we had a better... Oh, Woe Strider, you were saying we could sack it. I see. I see. Mistakes were made. Whoops. All right. I get you. Okay. Well, we lost. Unfortunately, they just get to attack in. Yeah, my bad on that one, guys. Thank you guys for trying to keep me on track, but unfortunately, that's a loss for us. All right. Let's jump into another game. Powered through the color challenges to unlock ranked play. Pete, you gotta push through, buddy. You can do it. The color challenges, so I was kind of surprised. My fiance downloaded MTG Arena. She was getting through some of the tutorial stuff and that kind of thing. And I was kind of surprised at like how not difficult that the challenges were, but for a new player, they were like a little bit tricky, I will say. That was a good one. And so I found it a little bit challenging for her to like get through some of them when she was fighting like Nicol Bolas at the time, which I guess is still the tutorial. I don't really know. She ran into like some issues that it took me like a second to kind of get through it because I was like, that makes no sense. How do we get through this? But we got there. We got there. Valki is a pretty good keep, so let's try. Probably just gonna lean on the castle for turn 1 here, or yeah, I'm still gonna do that. So the reason being, we have nothing to play, and so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Masked Vandal is stupid good, Omega, in my opinion. This card is very, very powerful, especially against a lot of, you know, these kinds of sagas, things like that. So, all right, let's do this. Let's Valki. Let's see what they've got. Looks like Jeskai is the name of the game plan here. Ooh, wow. Okay. They update decks a lot. Yeah, they do. All right. Interesting. All right. Next giant use. Okay, I see. Interesting. All right, well, let's see what happens. Okay, you got it. We actually are okay with that. We get to kill it, so I'm not super worried about that. Okay, was stupid? Yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's steal it. We will just play this. We'll attack. And then we'll Village Rites it away. I love the sack deck. It's just so fun. Okay. Oko was way too good. I'm super happy they banned it, but at the same time, it also kind of sucked that they had to ban it, if that makes sense. I wish, and this is just, I know I'm not alone here. I know this has been a topic of discussion for a long time, but lasted till they banned him. Yeah, they did, minus. Just the fact that they've been printing such power hungry cards like that it is a little frustrating given how obvious it is that they're going to need to ban something. Like Oko, very clearly too good. Like there was no doubt about it. It was just way too powerful. And it lasted longer than I thought it would. What was so broken about Oko? They banned it before it started playing. It was its own engine. And so it was just overall, basically the food that it provided you just gave you the tools you needed in the right deck to basically do whatever you wanted to and take over the game very quickly. It's sort of the same mentality, and this is comparing it to Jace the Mind Sculptor for those of you who are older players, but Jace the Mind Sculptor didn't do anything inherently like crazy good. I mean, it was obviously a very good card, but the problem with it was that it slowly gained yeah, basically you were gone. It slowly, I'm actually gonna yeah, I'm gonna save that. It slowly gained you the advantage. So with Jace the Mind Sculptor, you could either brainstorm essentially and get the cards you needed to answer whatever the opponent was doing, or you could just basically fate seal them to death, which turned out to be a little frustrating. And so there was a lot that you could do there, and Oko kind of provided, not in that exact way, but provided those engines for you to kind of take over. It was banned for a reason, but I think the agent meta with Fires of Invention and Winota was even worse. So boring to play against. Yeah, I mean, Omega, that was a very, definitely a very frustrating time. The Fires of Invention really got out of hand and kind of, again, went on a little too long, in my opinion. Okay. So, the Fires of Invention route was essentially just this massive, like, overly powered control deck that did whatever you wanted it to do. And, like, that was really, really frustrating to deal with. Fires plus Luca or Winota, yeah. You could just cheat whatever you wanted out, and it was stupid. Really, really hated that. Omega, yeah, and the frustrating thing with Fires is if you didn't win right away, you were still probably going to win, but the game still went on for a while. And so that was kind of the annoying thing, I thought. So the thing is, this does, like, very little. But they don't really have much else that I care about. Jay, finally on Android. All out, what's up, buddy? Yeah, you finally got it out there. Alright, let's do this. We will get rid of it, just because. Now they have less value. Let's see. I can technically hold out on that. Wilderness Reclamation and Explosion were strong too, but not as much. Yeah, the Wilderness Reclamation deck was very, very good, but it was a little bit more beatable. There were ways to shut it down that wasn't necessarily true for some of the other stuff. So full control over. So I'm gonna sack this at the end of the turn. Just so you know. Gotta website it or crossplay. Yeah. All right. We'll sack this now. Just so we don't make that mistake. The good news is here we've got another Akroan War. So that's pretty helpful. Unfortunately, we just drew like a butt ton of lands. Let's do this. Each opponent, this ability triggers. Interesting. Okay. Obviously no attacks. I'm just gonna go ahead and crack this just for the sake of getting it done. Get a swamp, so that way we've got maximum black for Castle Locthwain plus a spell. Ooh, Mimic. Well, that's frustrating as heck. They stole their own creature back. That's really funny. Yeah. That's pretty good. I like that. Alright, Woe Strider helps a good bit here. Claim your card codes if you got them. Yeah, that's a good point. And we just pass. Okay. So the good news here is we can block, save ourselves some damage, and then sacrifice the creature to just basically give us a scry here. May not do wonders, but at least it kind of saves us some stuff. Woe Strider probably just gonna die. I do want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on Tybalt's Trickery? I know there's been some talk there. I asked that on our Instagram and Twitter and all of our socials and stuff, but I know there's some talk there of like, hey, we should potentially ban this and like that kind of thing. Is that something you guys think should happen, or is that something that is just like, nah, it's kind of stupid, we don't need to? All right, so the important thing here is that we blocked. Yes, keep. And we'll just go ahead and do this again, just for the heck of it. Because why not? It's great for, but not bannable for me. Okay. All right. So importantly, we got rid of those two. Let's throw this out there for black. Let's throw this out there. And let's throw Woe Strider out. I don't think it needs banning. It's not consistent enough, even if people manage a turn to Ugin. I haven't played against a deck that abused it yet, so I don't have much to say. So, does everybody understand why that card is good, though? Like, have you guys seen the deck? Do you understand what it's meant to do? Just curious. If you don't, essentially you can counter your own spell on turn 2 and, like, turbo out an Ugin or some other just big powerful thing. Dream Trawler's been in it, that kind of stuff. So the way it works is you play a 0-mana Stonecoil Serpent or Tormod Script. Interesting. That's frustrating. Play the Serpent for 0 and counter it. Yeah, exactly, Lamp. How good is this card? Okay. I think that's good enough to keep. So you play a 0-mana spell, counter it with the Tibalt's Trickery, and it immediately searches through your deck to find another spell, and generally that's something really, really big. So it is very strong. The question really is consistency, which somebody said, Outlaw Pete, I think you mentioned it's not consistent enough. I think that's mostly true. I will say, though, I have found it to be pretty good. I'm actually going to sack that out of the graveyard. Let's get this. I found it to be very interesting to play against. It's only come up a couple times, but it's actually been pretty consistent. I know Day 9 actually got to a point where he was, I think, at like 90% to get a Tibalt's Trickery in his opening hand, which is obviously what you're looking to do. And so if you can do that, like, you're kind of in good shape. It's very difficult, though. So I don't know. It's interesting. I'm kind of on the fence about it. My other thing too is in Standard it's used to get out like an Ugin or something, but there are other formats that it applies to, and so oh man. So you do have to consider all options, and you know, EDH is an option, but there's also like a modern variant of the deck going around, which I know not a ton of people play modern, but it is still a format. There's a lot of places where that can be abused, and so you do have to kind of think about that kind of thing. It's interesting with Cascade cards because you can just Cascade into your Tibalt's Trickery and then get another free spell. Garrett, thank you for the anti-hype. Unfortunately not getting there. All out, thank you, buddy. Yeah, not having great luck this time, but that's okay. Let's jump back in. That was a really interesting deck that we were just up against. I haven't seen that that Giants build quite yet. I know that there have been a few running around. I just haven't played up against one. So it's really cool to see that. Interesting to see how it plays out. This is very much the learning phase of any new season where you're going to have some of that, and that's fine. We're going to try. If anybody wants to support any of our content or anything like that, or any of our merch, please feel free to check out the store. That link is in chat. We do have our new Lightning Bolt proxies available for purchase if you guys would like to pick up any. They're digital altars that I did, and they're, I think, really cool. So if you guys want those, feel free. Any opinion on the Golgari Wolf? Is it any good? I have not seen it played, Omega. I would very much like to try it and see how it goes, but at this point, I've not seen it played. Also, this tends not to be a very heavily enchanting focused deck, and so I'm just playing this out as a blocker. Mono Green Food is still the best deck with Naya. Now Standard will almost for sure stay more or less the same for mine. The Rakdos discard deck is very good, but it's not that good, unfortunately. All right, well, worth noting, we could have just sacked that to try and get another land. I plan to do that this turn, but I kind of want to see if we can get a removal spell hit with it. We're weighing options, though, at this point. You got to think slowly we're going to lose advantage against this deck, so especially if they do get the draw 4 spell. All right, they get it. I also really don't like the idea of playing Village Rites into 2 mana, but let's try it. I just worry that counters are potential. Okay, well, at the very least, we got a land, so that's good. The problem is we're milling ourselves, so here we are. Valki, huh? I mean, it's gonna have to be that, because we don't have really anything else we can do. We're gonna get a red source here. We need to get all 3 colors, so let's just go ahead and do that, and then hopefully we can steal a card from the hand here. I'm expecting them to play a rogue. The flash 2/3 flyer, I believe. Or just drown in the lock. Alright, well, here we go. Watch us lose, yeah. Oh, it's fine. Alright. Yeah, they are wrecking us with this mill advantage. I mean, we did play Throne on turn 1. We knew that that would happen, but... Okay. Kroxa. They still have 2 mana left open. That's so scary to me. I mean, we gotta just do it, right? Play efficiently and hope we can get there. I mean, chances are we're just gonna lose here, though. We're not drawing lands. Yeah. Well, we got our sheep. Or goat, excuse me. So that's good. Oh, good. If they have like a Tormod script, they could just wreck us. Like, completely delete our graveyard, which would be terrible for us. We just kind of need to save as much as we can, but we're just dead next turn. I could see a mono red rise with maybe. All right, that's not good enough. They just have flyers in the air, so man, unlucky today, guys. But hey, that's fine. Not looking good, Lamp. Nope, unfortunately didn't get there. Anti-hype in the chat. Not doing so well this time, but you know what? Still loving the deck. I really enjoy this. I do think there's a couple of different variants for Jund that you can try. This one's obviously focused heavily on the sacrifice outlets, that kind of thing. I do think you could try and play into the discard a bit more and apply a little bit of green, maybe with Extinction Event or a Wrath. So I've thought about that, and we can certainly try it. We've got we got time for one more game here. So I have thought about this a little bit. If we trim this down, probably trim a claim, let's see. I don't really want to take away too much else, to be brutally honest. Let's try 3. So, Extinction Event. And we put like 3 of these in here. Now all of a sudden we're pretty well set up for sweepers, but we don't have like a whole lot of the steel stuff, or more of the steel stuff. I'm questioning the 6/6 Death Touch God a little bit. Like, I think it's fine, and I like the mill aspect, but because mill is such a prominent thing still in the meta, it's actually really frustrating to play against it. So I'm not really sure that that's the best. Weird hand. I really like Valki. Like, a lot. Really, really a lot. Should we try it? Let me know in chat. We got a second. I enjoy the 6/6. It's just fine. Yeah, I think it's like 9 times out of 10, I just play it as the one of. Or the enchantment. I'm going to keep this, by the way. Artifact thing, whatever. That's not always the correct play, though. And against like a mill deck, the idea would be to play it for the 6/6 Death Touch side, and then hopefully take over the game. But didn't work out that time. Scary hand, but I'm in. Yeah. All right, we're Valkying first. We did get a 3rd land, which is helpful. Wow. It's either Bonecrusher or just Elder Gargaroth, honestly. Who actually we could steal Elder Gargaroth later. That's not bad. I don't care about losing Valki, so honestly, the Bonecrusher doesn't seem that bad. Beanstalk Giant's kind of frustrating. I'm just going to take the Elder Gargoth. Was more accessible. Yeah, I agree. It's very, very not accessible at all. Just because it's so expensive. I mean, that's really all it is. Cool. So they didn't Bonecrusher. Part of me really wants to draw just like a Village Rites, so they Bonecrusher or try and bounce it, and then we just get to Village Rites it away. That'd be kind of sick. All right. So this provides that. Let's just go ahead and do this. Let's get a card out of hand here. Curious to see what they actually get rid of. It might just be Brazen Borrower. Crucially, Brazen Borrower, not a bad card to steal. Only because it's a flyer. But we'll figure that out. Yep, they got rid of it. Alright. Then let's go ahead and attack in. So this is a pretty crucial turn here. If they have a red source, a second red source, they can Bonecrusher and play the actual giant side of it as well. See, here they're getting their second red to set up for that. And now they can just shock this down, if they would like. Looks like they might try and see if we're going to invest a lot of mana in it at some point, but we're obviously not. All right, here comes the shock. Yep. Okay. Unfortunately, nothing we can do there. We don't really have a follow-up play. We could have Akroan War, but obviously that does nothing for us at this point. Nothing to claim yet, and no green for this. Really no targets either. Not that I'm expecting a lot in this particular deck, but... Funny. Okay. That's good enough to steal. 100% stealing it. All right. We'll see what they do. This just means that we can like play Bonecrusher out, get 4 damage off on something or just the opponent, and try and finish them off. Field of the Dead was also broken. Omega, yeah, Field of the Dead was stupid good too. Yes, that is its name. That was a really, really, really good deck. So we can actually just steal this, which is honestly not a bad way to go. Yeah, screw it. Why not? Why not? Let's see if this actually works out. Probably not, right? But we're gonna try. They could just Beanstalk Giant. I mean, that's very good. Unfortunately, they get that back now. All right. So what's the play? I'm gonna draw. Got a green source. That's helpful. Let's see how they block here. Get rid of that. We really need the green source here, so let's put that in, and then we're gonna Predator. I guess they have to attack here, don't they? They can't always just play another Beanstalk, but I mean, you gotta think, we got as much value as we probably could out of that Elder Gargaroth, given we were able to trade a creature with it, and it was already theirs to begin with. Anything you can do, Kev, can do better. Yeah, theoretically. But not really. Alright, so we do get rid of the Terror here. Which is very good for us, obviously. And then we've got a really nice little sacrifice play that we get to make here. Still a little worrisome with the Beanstalk Giant, but gonna take 2 damage to do this. They could have a Brazen Borrower in hand, which they were definitely thinking about something, so I'm assuming that would be it. We can attack with this if we'd like. We probably should have done that first. That was a bit of a mistake, but it's okay. That was definitely a mistake, but that's okay. Just would have been an extra 4 damage in potentially, which would have been very helpful. Wow, okay, so here we could theoretically play this. Wow, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have not played Tibalt for Tibalt's side yet, so this could be a big first for us. That's interesting. Should have saved the Fabled Passage and sacrificed it once Korvold was on the field. Garrett, keeping me honest. Yes, you were correct. I misplayed a good bit last turn, actually. We should have gotten a free attack in as well. Lots of stuff we could have done wrong. Or could have done better, excuse me. So they have 4 floating plus 4 more. So they can easy beanstalk. Excuse me, 5 more. So they can do a lot this turn. But they're going for all red, which is interesting. Makes me think potentially a burn spell to get rid of Korvold here. Could be a lot. And that's fine. If they do, that sucks, but it is what it is. We're going to do what we can do. Huh. Leyline Tyrant? Meh. Potentially. The opponent really thinking right now. There we go. Shatter Skull Smashing. Okay, I was assuming it was something like that, but... I mean... The other option is just to play Egon, which is also very good, but... We're going for cool points. I think we just exiled the top card here. Wow. Okay, so we have a Beanstalk Giant of our own. Worth noting, the big thing here is we get this as an emblem, so even if Tibalt goes down, we can still play all of these cards. So, like, we just basically gained 2 new tools that we can now utilize at any time. So, worth noting with Tibalt, that's kind of how that plays out. It's very, very good, and any color can cast these, obviously. Are those cards revealed? Good question. Let's see. You can enter the battlefield. I don't believe so. No, it doesn't say revealed. They did not attack there. That's good. A little worried again about a burn spell, though. So we can Akroan War and play Egon, whatever you want to call him. Could also just Kroxa to get rid of a card in hand. We can... Let's do this. Migration Path. Okay. Let's play this. Alright, I'm gonna escape Kroxa. Am I? That seems bad, potentially. This is a tricky place to be, actually. Okay, let's do this. Let's steal Rada. And then I do think we could Kroxa here. We probably should have Kroxa'd first, just to get the card out of hand. But... this gives us a little bit of protection. Okay, so... then... I'm just going to play the Death Toucher. Alright, this gives us a lot of just random stuff. We could have tapped this differently and gotten Village Rites in too. That would have been a good idea, but... here we go, misplaying. It's okay. It happens. These are things that you should slow down to look for, and I don't. So, my bad on that. But we'll see what the opponent can do here. I mean, Tibalt does a lot. And not only that, but we actually get to -8, exile all graveyards here, and then just get to go crazy. We will lose this eventually, obviously, but that's kind of okay. We do want to sequence that properly, though. So what we want to do is attack in, then exile graveyards, and then probably just Village Rites away the Rada. Oh, wow, and we have a way to kill that. Yeah, Corkspine, I think you're right. Shark Typhoon's interesting. I don't think it's obviously not the end of the world. Let's get rid of you and you. That's fine. Jimbo, no, I have not. I would very much like to, but I have not. Gonna play for black. Alright, we're gonna attack in first. And then theoretically, this turn is going to be a very, very powerful turn. We'll see, obviously, but we should be able to get quite a bit down here. Scorching Dragonfire on that. Okay. So they can, what, double block it? I mean, it doesn't matter. Okay. Take the opportunity to kill both of those. We're going to do this first. Draw our 2. And then we're going to do this. And we don't even lose to Vault. Like, that's kind of crazy. Oh yeah, we played a land, didn't we? All right. Let's play Terror. Can't play that quite yet. I'm just kind of looking through what all they've got. We can just play Korvold. Ultimate plays are very fun. I'm going to play Valki here. Hit them. Okay. Alright, they gave up. We did it! What a fun time. Man, I'm so glad we actually got to Ultimate to Bolt. That was very fun. Alright, so thoughts on the deck really quick as we sum up. Also, let's get some hype in chat. That is our final game. Thank you guys so much. And wow, we finally got there. But 2-4 final. Thank you, Garrett. Thank you so much. So talk about the deck really quick. Obviously very sacrifice focused. I think that has its strengths right now. I think what makes this card what makes this deck very good potentially in this meta is a lot of the stuff, in particular the Akroan War, claims, things like that are really, really good right now because so many decks are going kind of that aggro route. Now, we saw that doesn't mean they're always good. We're in situations with against like the Giant deck, for instance, and against the Nightmare Shepherd where they get that card back because we didn't play the sack outlet. That's a matter of you being a careful player, and I'm not. And so that was part of the problem. But I also think there are situations you have to think about where, you know, it's great to steal a thing, but can you do something with it or can you get rid of it? And you should always play to that out with this particular deck. So regardless, absolutely love this deck. I do want to revisit Jund probably later on down the road when we've got some different variants coming out. I don't think necessarily Jund's going to be like a super tier 1 deck by any means, but I do think it's got some cool legs. It's got some really interesting plays that I thought were really fun. So ultimating to Bolt really kind of made the day for me, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Pete, thank you so much for subscribing to us with your Prime subscription. Really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody else for being here. I really appreciate it as well. Garrett, thanks for keeping score. And we'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow for some more gameplay stream. But thanks, guys. I'll see you then.